Okay, so another round of layoffs continue again, right? Where you have American Airlines to trim some management support staff roles. So American Airlines said on Tuesday it was eliminating a small number of management support staff positions as part of a workforce adjustment. The layoffs were primarily Fort Worth headquarters, which will help it become more efficient across the organization. So cost cutting here. Airlines across North America have been trimming corporate roles. And again, this is more going towards corporate roles that we've been seeing, to rein in the heightened costs and shield margins amid normalized travel environment after post-pandemic surge. Last month, Canadian carrier Air Canada also cut about 400 management positions, roughly 1% of its workforce earlier this year. Southwest Airlines said it would cut 15% of its corporate jobs. It's the first reduction in the company's 54-year history. So that's pretty big. American Airlines did not specify the numbers of roles it was eliminating, and that's about it. So I talked about this before, the K-shaped economy, right? I talked about how certain sectors are doing better than others, how certain sectors will also be laying off workers as consumers become weaker and weaker. I talked about also how that consumers will also feel the pinch because of these layoffs, because consumers are already not spending right now, and that trend to potentially continue. Although the economy in the US, there are some signs, yes, of weakness, okay? And I'm not doubting the fact that, when you look from a consumer's point of view, it does not feel good and rosy. But you have to acknowledge the fact that time to time, I know we don't have the data right now with the government shutdown, but when you look at previous data, that it's still holding up, right? And time to time, yes, you do get, for example, the US ISM manufacturing data did come in lower than expected, about 48.7 versus the 49.4 expectation. And the prices component also drastically lower at 58 versus 62. So a number below 50 for the ISM is considered contraction. Considered, can be also sometimes a recessionary signal, a leading indicator at times. Now, when you look at this number as a whole, right? Just take a look. When you look at this number as a whole, it's been, range bound, sometimes 50, sometimes below, sometimes 50 or 49, sometimes below. Again, hitting 50 and then below. So it's been mostly range bound. We haven't seen any drastic drop, although since, the 2021 levels, we did see from 60 to 50, but around 50 is, above 50 is okay. Below 50 is contractionary. So when you look at, levels around here, hovering around 50, sometimes better, sometimes worse, it's still not giving you that true signal that we're at 41 or we're at 40 or the economy is really tanking and doing really poorly. The economy is still holding up, and you could argue that it has to do with all this AI capex spending, because a big portion of the last GDP gain was the big tech spending. So that's why you're seeing, the American economy holding up well. Now, you as a consumer may be angry and saying, no, that's not true. We're definitely in a recession. Like I said, K-shaped economy, right? Certain sectors doing well, other sectors not. And at the end of the day, yes, the consumers do feel the burden when it comes to all of this, right? So even though companies do trim their corporate jobs, this still can continue. We did hear from Fed members also talk about how they find it unusual that, we're not seeing massive layoffs, but also we're not seeing, hiring as we would think. So everything is basically on standstill, right? The only thing is for things to get worse is there would have to be a catalyst, right? So two scenarios here, either a catalyst to tip the economy into a worse off scenario, or you're in range bound like what we're seeing right now with this K-shaped economy feeling, and this feeling of not much growth or income growth, and yet prices are still, sticky, while growth is, somewhat weakening. Then, there's also another play or possibility of just kind of that kind of scenario for a couple of years. Who knows? I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Possible, right? Anything is possible. But we don't know for sure. But what we do know for sure is that, yes, you are getting the layoffs from companies. You are hearing them talk about cost cutting. And you are, as you know, as a consumer, are feeling also the pain, and as many people are complaining as well, the pain with affordability. And especially as the consumer demand decreases further and more job losses, the companies will also feel the same thing. So it's slowly, steadily moving in that direction, but nothing major as of right now. Again, we need to know more information. We need to know more data. We need to know what's going on, and we'll only know that maybe when the government comes back from the shutdown. Now you might say, "Oh, Daniel, what are you talking about? Just look around you right now." Again, like I said, right? Like I've been talking about before. I totally understand that argument, and I don't disagree with you. But K-shaped economy, and looking at the numbers also, economy is still holding up. We haven't seen a massive drop just yet. If it were to come, that is yet to we have yet to see that. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the like button, bell icon to be notified on the next video, and I'll see you guys around. Cheers, bye.